Which are your values, if I may ask? What
You
are
know,
the values?
I can totally see that one of your values is fun. Just judging by the messages you send me in the videos. Um, no, I'm glad that yours is. I feel like fun often makes my values list, and then but it usually drops off my top three. Um, so one of my well, I have three or four top values. Transcendence is one of them. It's one of these weird ones that I'm like, why is that my value? Um, and I really resisted it for a while, but actually, it's really important to me. And transcendence to me represents how am I thinking and who am I being, and 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 it reminds me to think higher, to expand my vision all the time. Am I thinking in a transcendent way, or am I thinking in average or status
Oh,
quo way? Um, and because it's so easy for me, especially sometimes, to make myself small, to make my thinking small, to make it's why, like, for me, having a focus on transcendence, lifting my vision higher, lifting my thoughts higher, lifting my being higher, is really important for me to have that focus. So transcendence is one of them. Service, I'm always thinking, is this in service to, I genuinely believe that what is in service to me also is in service to everyone else. Um, because if I'm in my right mind, I don't see any distinction between myself and others. I see that we're all one. So, if I'm benefiting myself, I'm benefiting others naturally because we're all one. Like when I'm in my right mind. But just how can I serve? Like, how can I serve better? How can I show up? How can I serve today? How can I contribute my best gifts and talents to the world? If I'm in a place of service, life works out for me really nicely, and it's really easy and light. When I'm coming from a place of how do I make money? I need money, or like, oh, there's a gap in the market there. If I'm not asking, yeah, but is that of service?
yeah.
Just life is sticky and yucky and doesn't work out very nicely.
Yeah.
Love is another one, just because I believe everything is made of like, I believe we are love, and it's the greatest power. So it has the power to transform anything, literally anything. Um and then what are my other ones? I mean, I've got loads, and I need to revise. And I keep looking at my screen because I've got loads of sticky notes around my other monitor, and I've got my values on there. But yeah, those are my top three.
Nice, nice.
Authenticity. Sorry, that's another one. Authenticity.
Okay.
Um, just and that's a struggle. That can be a real struggle to be authentic, because we all have this protection mechanism within us, and there's a certain level that we want to hide behind, and masks that we put on. So really being more and more and more and more and more authentic, sharing the light that flows to and through all of us, is really important to me, and not always easy.
How do you embody these values in your company, for example?
Um, I think that to be honest, like, that's easier, because if it's in me, it's going to be in anything that I do.
And everything.
Exactly, because doing is the fruit of being. So if I'm being my value of service, it's just naturally going to show up in. It doesn't matter whether I'm with a client or I'm with my kids. Like, I'm being service. The same with authenticity. It doesn't matter if I'm with my husband or I'm pitching to a corporate client. It's coming from the same place of being. I think when life becomes very hard is when we begin to fragment ourselves, and we work backwards. We go from the doing, and and you know and I hope I'm explaining that properly, but if I always know that if I'm being my values, everything else is just going to emanate and come from that. So it's easy in a way.
Yeah. Do you, for example, in terms of with your husband, with your children, do you guys speak about your values as well?
Do you know what? Not enough. We do have our family values though. And one of our family values is fun. So for example, like that's why we have a disco. We literally have an entire disco set up in our living room with like a disco ball, and we have loads of neon lights and disco lights that come on when we tell Google to run the disco. So we do talk about values, but in the context of our family values. Honesty is another one of our family values, for example. So we're always talking about being honest with each other, and we came up with our values in conjunction with our kids. So I mean, pretty much they were the ones that came up with it. Love is another one.
Wonderful.
Being loving. Yeah.
Wonderful. Indeed. So that was one of the things indeed about embodying values. I remember the first time that I was learning it from a business point of view, I was learning from this technique that they call it the celery technique, where it came from the fact of that if you want to be a vegan, for example, and you go to the supermarket, if you know already that you want to be a vegan, your celery technique is that you go through the supermarket and you just know exactly what is healthy and what's not, what you really want or not. But if you go to the supermarket and you just don't know, if you are just hungry, that's where you get a little bit of everything, and at the end you don't really take care of your health, you don't take care of your weight, you don't take care of if it's a quick pleasant food, or if it's something just like fast food that you are getting.
Yeah.
So interesting, and certainly actually how you can use these filters everywhere in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll use my values when I'm making decisions. Like there was a couple of days ago when I had to make a decision between two things, and I knew I could not put my energy into both of them. As much as I was really excited about these two particular opportunities that came along, I couldn't put my energy into both of them. So I went through my values on each of them, and on one of them like hit my top 5 values, and one of them hit 4. So I was like, right, so I got rid of the one that hit 4 and I just went with the one that hit 5.
Wow. That you have scenes actually, the two scenes that actually fulfill all your values, or as close of it.
Yeah.
Those scenes, it was with your life or with your company?
Oh, that was a couple of business opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we were just talking also with a client, with a coach, fellow coach, Mike, Mike,
right,
about how it's important to draft to the persons that you're talking with exactly what you perceive of how you can help them. So it's not about really just telling them what they want to hear, but be drastic. Do you always, when you were saying honesty, authenticity, what happens when you see, for example, a client that right away, or a person that you are going to start with, and right away completely clashes with what you're standing for? How do you deal with these kind of conversations?
So the way I see it, my job as a coach is not to be liked. It's not to that totally comes from the wrong place. When I first started coaching, of course, I was still massively entrenched into, but I want to be liked, and I want this person to like me, and I want to please them, and I want them to feel good. And now, the coaching that I come from is taking a stand for the other person and who it is that they've told me they want to be. And sometimes that sounds harsh. I was talking to a potential client about a week ago, and I said, in this conversation, if I sound like I might sound like I'm being really harsh at sometimes. I might sound like I'm being a bit of a dick, to put it to say it more nicely. But I said, I'm not doing that. It's my job to take a stand for you on what it is that you said that you want to create, and who it is that you said that you want to be. And if I hear you or see you not being that, I'm going to call you out on it, and I'm going to hold a mirror up to it. And the reason I do that is because that's my job. That's my job as their coach. It's not to please them or make them like me. It's to take a stand for them when they won't take a stand for themselves. And
Yeah.
that's the reason why we hire a coach. Like my coach at the moment, he said to me, in fact, this was the reason why I was like, oh yeah, he's the right coach for me. Because he did two things actually. On our second conversation, he said to me, if we work together, I'm gonna swear again, but he said, I'm gonna poke the shit out of you. And I was like, that's exactly what I want. I want someone to be like, I want someone to bring out that. I don't want someone to enable my excuses, to enable my fears, to let me off with where I'm not living up to my values or what it is that I say I want to create. I want someone, like I'm paying you to hold me accountable to who it is I said that I want to be and what I want to create. And the other thing he said to me was, I can't remember, but it was something along the lines of, like, what if I said to you, you need to make a decision today? Otherwise, I'm like, oh, that's it. We're never speaking again. And I was like, that's so harsh. But at the same time, I love the ballsiness of it as well. I admire the ballsiness of that. And I don't believe, having seen everything else about him, that it's because he's not on that he's an unkind person. I completely see in him that he's a kind person, that he's a great coach, that he's really respected, but that he's saying that for my benefit. Like he's trying to call me forward, and it might sound harsh, but that's our jobs. That's our jobs as coaches, is to hold people accountable to who they want to be and what they want to create. And the very fact is, they're going to struggle to hold themselves accountable. That is why they hire you to do it. That's why they hire me and you to do it.
Yeah. Correct. And have the courage to take that position as well. So Elisa, if I will ask you now, because thank you very much for allowing me to have this conversation with you. If I may ask you, we normally call something the leak strikes, the street slides questioning, where we ask, like, in the terms of, let's say, in the sense of business coaching, what do you consider that business coaches out there are doing now that is not really good, that is wrong? What do you consider that is wrong and that they probably should stop doing?
Yeah, okay, that's a really interesting question, because one of the things that's really important for me is to not come from a place of judgment, but to come from a place of curiosity. One of the things that I can see a lot of people doing that's not necessarily helpful to them or others is coming from a place of fear. So, the coaching industry at the moment is growing like rapidly. A lot of people are recognizing the need for coaching. But because of that, it does mean that there are a lot of people who are coming into the industry just to jump on the opportunity, right? And ride the wave while it's going up, and then they'll go find something else. They don't necessarily have the intention of really being of service to others, of sticking it out for the long run, of this is really what they want to do. It's a lot more kind of motivated by, how can I make a fast buck in this growing industry and quickly get out? And I think that one of the things as coaches is that, anyone will know, as soon as you kind of go into the coaching industry, you're going to start to be bombarded with adverts and people cold DMing you about how that they can help you be a 6 or 7 figure or 8 figure coach overnight. One of the worst things that you can do, I think, is like, out of fear or this kind of quick make a fast buck mentality is to listen to them. I'm not saying don't listen to them, and I'm not saying that they're all like it, but to develop a high sense of discernment. And I, for example, I've done this, right? I'm literally coming from a place of, I have done this. So one of the things that I would really suggest is really have a look around with the coaches who are out there. Who do you really respect? Who do you really admire? What is it about them that you respect and admire? How do they show up in the world? What are their values? Where do they come from? Is it a place of service? Is it a place of love? Is it, whatever it is that that you admire about them, but really be discerning about that. Do some research, be a scientist on these people that you really admire. And then just make sure that when other opportunities come along, or people come along and they say that they can help you do XYZ, and we all have this pull and this desire in us to want to succeed quickly, and there's no reason that we can't succeed quickly, but be discerning on who you're taking that advice from, because absolutely, those people are not going to give it away for free, but a great coach won't either. So just be discerning about who it is that you're listening to, and make sure that you're listening to and taking advice from people that you really, really respect, and that have, they've got the fruits of their labor are good, So for example, people like that, for me, people like Ajit, Steve Chandler, someone I deeply respect and admire, is the godfather of coaching. What is it that he says about growing a coaching business? Not what does some guy I've never heard of, but who's telling me that I can have an 8-figure business by the end of this year. Like, what's he telling me? So that's one of the things that I would really say, like, just be very, very discerning about who it is that you listen to, because if you've got into coaching, it's, ideally you've probably got into coaching because you have a passion for it, you love it, you're looking for it to have this as part of your career for life. It's, it's a passion for you. So listen to the people who have already been there and done that.
Yeah. So in a quick story about it, for the listeners, about 3 weeks ago, I asked Elisa a question, like, I've been always interested in space, and this is one of my big objectives that I have in life. I want to be in the moon for sure in the next 30 to 40 years. Who knows about Mars, but let's see. And I was asking, like, how can I work with SpaceX? And Elisa told me about the steps of that I needed to take: reflection, take action, reflection, make sure actually that we have the right questions to ourselves. And you know what happened, Elisa? First of all, after some of the actions that I took was really niche down on what I really want to pursue as a business coach, which is value hacking for me. Understanding the value of what people are creating, why and why now, for example, are some of the biggest questions that I put out there to people I work with. I've been following in experts. I started following experts in different categories around space, about rocket science. And the funny was that I started following Elon, of course, in the different platforms. And what happened also is that now I think I get like every day I'd get at least 2 to 3 new accounts of someone calling themselves Elon, and saying like, hey, do you want to invest in my company? I'm Elon Musk. And so I had both experiences, like the moment of like, wow, this is what I want. And the other thing is that, we get so many so-called experts.
Yeah. Amazing. And I love what you have said there about how what it is that you're really passionate about, and that's about space, but value hacking, right? So you really know what it is that you love to do and where you would love to do it, and like And the next step is then to just have certainty, like to come from a place of certainty that this is going to happen for you. And when you focus on that, and you start surrounding yourself with those people and connecting with people in those industries and going to industry conferences, like it's going to happen. It can't not happen, because these are the seeds that you're planting, and like there is a law of cause and effect, right? It's also called the law of harvest. But when you plant these seeds, then you have, if you plant an apple seed, you're going to get an apple tree. You can't plant an apple seed and get a peach tree. And what you're planting at the moment is value hacking within the space industry. Like these are the seeds that you're planting, so these are the fruits that you're going to reap. Like it has to happen. That's the law of cause and effect. So I can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you, Elisa. I would certainly will keep always sharing more and more. And thank you for helping me also with these questions. And as a small bonus, if I may ask, this is something that we from the CVC program, the hundreds of people and coaches that has been gracefully having lessons almost every week, if I may say it, every week for the last 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And we have just to give you to the listeners a little bit of where I'm going with it, is that every Wednesday we have a lab with Elisa where we have a very interesting moment, very wonderful moment when we start the lab, where we have a small meditation. Elisa, even the last Wednesday, I noticed that some of our coaches was like, Lisa, could you please tell us how you did that meditation? So I was wondering, can I ask you if we could do a small meditation that people just come back and see it and have a meditation from you?
Yeah. Do you know what? For ages, I've had an intention to put some meditations out on YouTube, and there we go. You like literally, you're fulfilling this intention.
Wonderful. So, Lisa, please.
Okay, let's finish off with the meditation then. Okay, so just begin by closing your eyes. And just become aware of your breath. And if you feel like you need to give a big breath out, give a big breath out, because often we don't breathe, particularly consciously. We tend to hold on to our breath a lot, so just let it out. And then I'm just going to invite you just to begin to kind of feel where you are in your chair. Feel it against your body. And begin to feel yourself getting heavier and more relaxed in your chair. And then just begin to regulate your breathing a little bit more. So breathe in for 4. And then breathe out for 8. And then breathe in for 4. And out for 8. And just continue that pattern of breath. Just notice how instantly begins to relax you. This pattern of breathing, where we take a longer out breath, activates our parasympathetic nervous system, so it automatically puts our body into rest and digest mode. In other words, we can begin to properly chill out. And then what I want you to do is just bring attention to your ankles and just circle them. Remember that they exist. Bring them back to life. Stretch them out. Same thing with your toes. Give them a little wiggle. And then relax all the way up to your knees. Feel like you need to give your muscles a little wiggle. Do it. Activate them. Remind yourself that they're there. And then up your calves. your thighs. Then feel the weight of your bottom in your chair. Allow your back just to sink into the back of your chair. Relax your stomach. Relax your shoulders. Relax your hands and your fingers. Relax your head and your neck. Give it a little stretch if you feel like you could do with it. Relax your jaw. Relax your lips and your eyes. Relax your forehead. And as you breathe in and out, just notice how your body just works. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to ask for anything. You don't even have to do anything. It's just there doing its thing, functioning for you, breathing for you, pumping blood around your body, sending all of its signals. It just does it. You get to be the silent witness to this miracle that is your body, this vehicle that carries you around in this life. And then just begin to notice how every time you breathe, there is an abundance of oxygen. And then begin to notice how actually there's just an abundance of everything. There's an abundance of everything that you need in this moment. You don't have to ask for anything. It's all provided to you. All good is always available to you in every moment. You don't have to ask for it. You don't have to need it. You don't have to want it. It's just there, given to you, available to you. And notice how much love has to exist for you to be existing in this moment. For your body just to be getting on and being of service to you in this moment. You are completely and utterly safe. You're completely loved. You have everything you need. You've always had everything you need. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here now, but you are. You have everything that you need in this moment. Everything is provided to you. All the good in the world is provided to you. And when you tap into this moment in every moment, when you realize that this always exists for you in every moment of your life, it doesn't matter what is going on. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It doesn't matter what even happens in the future, because all good will be available to you in the future as well. All good is always available to you. All it requires is that you notice. And while it's here, fully supporting you, you can set your mind and your heart, set it free into thinking about the value that you bring to the world, the value that you can create in the world, the value of your life in this moment, the value of all people's lives. And know that you don't need to do anything, have anything, or even ask for anything. It's already provided. You just get to play. You get to play in this life. You get to contribute, connect with others, create amazing things. build amazing friendships, credible businesses, things and people, connections, products, services that serve humanity, that make people's lives better, that make your life better, that progress humanity. That's where you get to play. And take one more deep breath in. And slowly bring all the awareness back to your body. Give it a little wiggle. Eke out any little tensions. And bring your awareness back to the present. Open your eyes. And go create the magic.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Elisa, wonderful. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing. Full of energy. Having a wonderful Friday.
Thank you.
You thank you for this wonderful conversation. And everyone out there, please, coaches and everyone, we will make sure to put all the information from Elisa if you want to get in touch with her as soon as possible. What will be the best way, Elisa, if they would like to reach you?
Connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can Google Elisa Tidswell. You'll find my website. But yeah, come connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram, somewhere like that. Somewhere nice and easy, and come say hi.
Beautiful. Normally I'm a lot, but that meditation.
We're all chilled out.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Lisa, have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day.
Lots of love.
Thank
you. Thank you.